Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to our Thursday night call. Tonight we're doing things a little bit different. If you're watching the recording right now, you can just see me and Shannon. But we have a lot of people on the call that we can see their beautiful faces, and we are ready to begin. Tonight we decided to do a little hodgepodge of questions that you guys put out there for us the other day. And we're going to take some live questions as well. And so I think that the most popular question was how to get...
Wait.
Okay.
Remember we said we were going to do something right at the beginning?
Oh, I forgot.
I told him I was going to tell him to do something right at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, this is Shannon McCumber. She's going to do the call. She's got something to say.
Listen, Linda's and Larry's. If you're a dude on the call, I didn't want to leave out the Larry's. Listen, Larry. Now, tonight, we're going to be giving some tough love out. So, what I need you to do is to take your feelings, pull them out, and just shove them in your pocket. Okay? Nobody's allowed to get their feelings hurt on the call tonight or get upset about what we're saying or, well, I do that. I already do that. So don't take what we say tonight on the call as, well, I already do that. There's not anything you can tell me that I don't already do. Because that's just an ego. So you need to go ahead and take that out your pocket. Take that out too and put that in your pocket. So we don't have to deal with that either. So I told Jana I'd be the bad guy. So everybody can love Jana. You put the hate on Shannon. But the thing is, we want you guys to grow and we want you to learn. And what we have to remember is that this is indeed a business. And sometimes when you are doing a business, an actual business, which is what this is, you have to take your feelings, you have to put them to the side, and you have to say, okay, my feelings are getting hurt. Well, I'm sorry about your little feelings, but your little feelings isn't what takes money to the bank. So we want you to make money with this business. We want you to find success. We want you to find success with coaching people. And we also want you to find financial freedom. And that's important when it comes to a business. So sometimes we have to take our feelings to the side and put them. And then after we're done, you can take them back out, put them back on as soon as the call's over. Okay? Everybody good? Thumbs up?
So I'm not great at tough love. Shannon is really good at tough love, but I'm going to try really hard tonight. Yeah, Rod says I'm tough love with him. But
right. She reserved it all.
Yeah. Me and Shannon were talking earlier, and you guys you're on the call for a reason. And we feel like we would be doing you a disservice if we didn't, give you some tough love and tell you exactly what we, talk about to each other and what we're feeling and what we think that you guys need to be doing. And so obviously from the questions that you put on that post, you guys are wanting to really know how to grow your business. And so we really need to tell you exactly what we say to each other and what we talk about and stuff. And that's the thing. I mean, you're on the call for a reason, and we need to address some things for sure. But the most important popular question that was out there, I think, was done by Lacey. And that was, how do you get your team to want to do the business? How do you get your team to work the business like you do? And so that's going to be probably what we spend a good amount of time on talking about, because I know she got like 25 or 30 likes on that one. So I know that must be something that you all want to hear. And suddenly Shannon's over here now on this side. So that's the first question we're going to start out with. And me and Shannon had discussed this question and talked about it. Of course, the very first thing that Jules say when this question gets brought up is we always say, don't waste your time with people that don't want to work the business. You need to be going out and finding people that do want to work. But there is something to be said for what you can do with the people that you have. I know some people will tell you they want to work, but then they don't come forth and do it. And that's kind of what you're probably needing help with more than anything. And me and Shannon discussed a lot of it is about connections, the connections that you have with people, the way you're starting people out when they first join the business. What is it that you're talking to them about? When I sign somebody up and they really want to do the business, I try to get them on a call and I try to talk to them about, what is it that you want to do with this business? What kind of money do you like to make? Are you in it for the money, or are you in it to help people, or both? Are you in it to get your products paid for? Realistically, what is it that you're looking to do with this business? And then whatever they tell me, I tell them, okay, well, how much time are you willing to put forth in this business to get to that goal? So if somebody says, I'd really like to take care of my car payment, or I really like to get my products paid for, or they might say, I'd like to have an executive income. I'd like to replace my income of what I'm making at my job, or maybe I want to have a retirement, whatever that is. And, then I'll ask them, well, realistically, how much time are you willing to put towards this? And that's one thing I was thinking about earlier, is that I think that probably one of the biggest problems in this business is that because we set our own hours, it's really, really easy to put your Plexus business on the back burner. Whether you're doing it part-time, full-time, you're a stay-at-home mom, whatever it is that you're doing, it's very easy to not make this business a priority. And I think that's probably the number one problem with people not growing their business, is that they treat this like a hobby, but yet they expect a good income from it. And so, my first question, obviously we're talking about people that are on your team, but my first question is, what are you doing? What are you doing first? You have to look at yourself before you can look at your team. And so realistically, what are you doing to better your business? How much time are you putting forth? And so to think about it just for a second, just to give y'all just a few seconds to think about it. And I'd like you to know, if you want to share in the chat box, you can. But realistically, how much time are you putting towards your Plexus business a week? Think about it. Not scrolling Facebook, not trying to encourage teammates, bringing people back to life, messaging your team and saying, how many people have you prospected this week? But you yourself, income producing activities, that would be talking to people about the business, sharing the products with people, even building relationships for people that you do want to eventually have as a customer or an ambassador. You're building those relationships. This is specifically putting what your business is in front of you. How much time are you putting to that? And is that time a set aside priority time, or are you just like watching TV and working your Plexus business? That would be my first question. How much time are you putting? Is it, 10 minutes a day? Is it an hour here and there? Really you have to be strategic about when you're working your business. And I know for a fact there's a lot of people that treat this like a hobby, and they think they're working their business a lot, but really what they're doing is just playing on Facebook, or they're talking to their teammates, or they're chatting in chat boxes. They're not actually working their business. So that would be my first question. Shannon, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, what I would say is, when I was just writing this down, when you talk about people building, you talk about you want people to run their business, you want people to work the business. Getting people to work the business starts when you are talking to them at the very beginning about Plexus. I mean, at the very beginning, when you're talking about Plexus and what it is, what the products are, that's when it starts, because you're setting the tone at the very beginning of what you want to create for your team. Because ideally, in your mind, you should be thinking, okay, I'm talking to this person about Plexus products. Now, eventually, your end result should be, okay, I want them to become sustainable income for me in the next 30, 60, 90 days. So as you're talking to these people, you need to be talking to them about, okay, we have retail customer, we have preferred customer, we have wholesale ambassadors. Now, there's always going to be people who want that discount immediately. They want to sign up, get the discount. But then there's also people who are retail because, you know, maybe preferred, they're not ready for that, or they're not ready for that commitment. But then you have preferred people who sign up, they're getting their products every month. Now, what you want to create from the beginning is a customer who loves the products. And that requires you to be a good coach. And we've talked about this in previous calls about being a good coach to your customers. So you can see how this builds into people who build a business, because everything that you're doing right now with customers is exactly how they're going to do it when they try to build a business. So be very cognizant of how you're doing it, because how you're doing it with them is exactly how they're going to do it. So if you're not putting energy into it, and you're not painting a picture of, oh my gosh, this is the best team to be a part of. We support each other. We are a big tribe. We are there for each other. We're building businesses. And more than anything, I want you to find the same financial freedom and health freedom that I have found. And I know that you would find success in this journey right along with me. And I know that people would support you and push you forward. That's the type of thing you have to feed when you're talking to people about that. And so then when they're customers, and in 60 days, you go back and you say, hey, do you remember we talked about becoming ambassador? You know what? You've known the products for 60 days and you love them. You're finding success. You would be great at this. I can show you how to make how to get your products for free. I can show you how to earn bonuses every month. I think this is totally something you could do. Let's work on this. Let's set up a meeting and plan on you doing this. So you have to plan right from the very beginning what you're going to do 30, 60, 90 days. It just can't be, okay, well, I signed somebody, or, well, I got a customer now, what do I do with them? If you want to create sustainable income, you have to create that from the very beginning. So, and then if there are people who have already been in the business, you have to go to those people and you have to revisit with them and say, okay, you got into this because you said you wanted to run a business. Let's revisit that. Tell me, why did you join 2 months ago and now you're not doing anything? Because our goal for you was for you to make enough money to pay your grocery bills for the month. And so that's how to get you there. So let's do this. Because a lot of people have insecurities of, I don't know how to do it, or I'm just not a salesperson. Well, it's not selling, it's sharing. I share stuff all the time about what I like and post on Facebook that I think is funny. I'm not trying to sell it. I'm just sharing it because I think it's funny, or I think it's something other people will benefit from. And that's basically, and you know, if you're on my team, you've heard me say this 1,000 times. Never apologize for something that has the power to change lives. What we have has the power to change lives. So you can never be apologetic for it, ever. So that's what I would say about getting people back into the business, but also thinking ahead because what you're doing now is going to affect your business 30, 60, 90 days from today. So what you're doing on April 13th is going to reflect come July 13th, which is my birthday. So we want to make sure you're really doing good on July 13th. Go ahead.
I really think the main thing is, what is your relationship like with your team? You know, if you have a good relationship with your team and you are passionate about what you're doing and you are fun and you're portraying that you want them to have, like Shannon said, the same success that you're having, you know, if your relationship is not there with your team, if you have a whole team of people that aren't doing anything, like if you have a lot of people that aren't doing anything, I would really honestly take a really good look at the relationships that you're having with those people. Because I know that, like, when me and Shannon started and we were growing with a lot of different people, we had a very strong relationship. We talked on the phone almost every day at the very, very beginning when we were really growing our teams together. And if we wouldn't have had that close relationship, it would have been really hard to build that together. So look at your relationships. Are you portraying that passion? Are you making what you're doing look fun? Or are you making it look like, this is really hard, I'm having to do this all by myself? What is your attitude and what is your relationship with your people? And like Shannon said, why not just go and ask them and say, look, I just need to know, are you in this or not? Are you going to work this with me or are you not? I'm not saying you have to do it full time, but what is your commitment level? Can we revisit that? If they're not willing to talk to you, if they're not willing to have that conversation with you, then they're probably not ready yet. But if you talk to somebody and they say, yes, my commitment level's there, then that's when you need to say, okay, well, we need to continue with this relationship. We need to build this relationship. We need to have set meeting times. Let's meet every Monday on the phone at whatever time or whatever's convenient for them to keep that relationship ongoing to where you're building that relationship at the same time. If you're not in contact with your team members, the relationship isn't there. So I think that's really important. And then the other thing is duplication, obviously. Connecting people to each other is a huge one. Are you building a culture? Are you building a family in your team? Are you creating avenues for them to know each other and that you're communicating with them and their people? Do you have chat groups set up to where you're encouraging them to friend each other and to support each other on each other's Facebook posts and stuff like that? There's a lot of connection that needs to be done on teams where they need to know each other. And then, like I said before, the duplication thing, I think, is probably one of the most important things, is making sure that you have something in place that you're duplicating down. What is your work ethic? What are you doing, and how much time are you spending building your business? Because you can't expect somebody else to be doing something that you're not. Almost all the time, your team is going to be a reflection of you.
And I want to add to that. I tell my team a lot, it's like a family reunion. And, where I'm from in Kentucky, family reunions are huge. So, everybody goes to family reunions. And I tell people, you have to be Aunt Sue at family reunions. And we all have that one aunt that she goes around and she hugs every single person that's at the reunion. Whether they're like fifth cousin or sixth cousin or 10th cousin, she knows who they are. She knows how she's related to them, from whose kid they are, from where they live. And we all know that. But then when you try to leave, that same aunt is coming over and pulling your arm saying, oh, come on, baby, just stay here just a few minutes longer. We're having such a good time. We want you to sit down and have another piece of pie. Are you hungry? You need me to get you something to drink? You need to be Aunt Sue at the family reunions, because that person, and you love Aunt Sue more than all the other aunts because she makes you feel like $1 million. You know that. And so that's your job as the ambassador, the leader for your team. It's your job to be Aunt Sue, to go make sure every single person is taken care of, that they feel loved, that they feel appreciated. Because and we can all attest to this, it's really hard to leave the family reunion when Aunt Sue is there and she's trying to get you to stay when you got other stuff to do, but Aunt Sue wants you to stay. So you got to make it fun. You got to make it exciting. And you got to go play horseshoes with Aunt Sue when she says, come play horseshoes.
But you know what I take away from that, Shannon, is that Aunt Sue is passionate.
Yes, very, about her family.
And that is what is going to portray to your team. If you have to be the most passionate and hardworking person on your team. And you always have to be that way, because that is what they're going to emulate.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I love what Shannon said at the beginning, where when somebody's first starting out, that is really the key time to figure out what their plan and what their goal is, and to get their commitment level. And I always hear the network marketing people say, ask them at that time, how much do you want from me? What do you want our relationship to be like? You're telling me right now that you want to replace your mortgage. Okay, well, are you willing to make the commitment level that that's going to take to pay for your mortgage? And is it okay that if I feel like that you need some coaching, do you want me to do that? Do you give me permission ahead of time to come to you and say that? I know one network marketing person that I listened to the other day said, you know, if somebody doesn't respond to you, whether it's a customer, a prospect, a friend, whatever that is, if they don't respond to you, like on private messaging, you're just, you know, you're getting silence, to ask them, you know, it's not like you to not respond, Susie, you know, can you tell me, are you okay? Is everything okay? A lot of people will respond if you just really are concerned about them and you say something like that. It's not like you to not respond. Is everything okay? You know, you have to care about people. Obviously, that's what we hear all the time from people. You have to care. Otherwise, they're not going to be worried about what you're doing if they don't think you care about them. Mm-hmm. So tell me, you guys, do you have any other questions about that? You can put it in the chat box, or let us know if you have any other questions about that.
Shoot.
Where's Lacey? Oh, I don't see her picture anymore. I just see her name.
She had.
Hey, Lacey, I'm going to unmute you for a second.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, so do you want to ask any other questions about that? Tell us some more about why you asked that question.
I just asked because, like you were saying in the very beginning, I have several that said that they want to work the business, but they never actually end up putting forth the effort to do any of it. So I don't want to drag them along, but I just kind of feel like that's what I keep finding.
Do you have a good relationship with them?
I could probably definitely have a better one for sure.
Then there's your answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Building that relationship up, because the more you have a relationship with that person and the closer you are, the more you're Aunt Sue with that person, the harder it is going to be for them to say no. And because you're putting that out there that, hey, I am having a blast with this, and I know you would have so much fun too, and I want you to do this because I want you to have the same amount of fun. But that falls on you to put that out there. So if you're relying on any type of excuses, well, I don't have time, or I can't do this, or I can't do that, you have to take those excuses and put those in your pocket too, right along with your feelings, and get to work. So start there. Start building relationships with those people. And it doesn't have to be about the business. It's about building relationships with them and saying, look, whether we do Plexus or not, I want to be your friend and I want to build a relationship with you. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Marianne has a good question. She wants to know, how do you find people that want it before you, like, what attributes do you look for in somebody before you talk to them about the business?
You want me to go first, or do you want to go?
You can go ahead.
Okay. I can tell you, like, for instance, my daughter is on a cheer squad, okay? She does competitive cheer. I can tell you, I go in, I start talking to, and I was new to this a year ago. I didn't know any of them on that squad. And so I started building relationships with them. Now, there's only like 4 or 5 other moms on our particular squad. So it's taken me a full year to develop relationships and even get to know the moms on the other squads. And so I'm still building those relationships, but in that time, I'm friending these people on Facebook. I'm seeing what kind of stuff they put on Facebook every day. If they are Facebook posters every day, maybe they post 2 or 3 times a day. I look to see if there's 1 or 2 things that they're really passionate about that they post about every day. Maybe it's that they're a realtor and they post every day, or maybe it's horses and they post about that every day. Whatever it is that they're passionate about, other cheer moms that they're passionate about their kids, then I know they're paying the same amount of cheer bills that I'm paying. And I can guarantee that I'm making more money than some of these people. And I know for them, it's hard. And so that has really opened up a lot of doors for me, because they will talk about how it's pay $500, $600 a month for their kids to do cheer. And now I'm talking about 2 or 3 kids at the same time. And so I will bring it up and I'll say, hey, you know, have you ever considered working from home or doing something from home to make money to cover that? And they're like, no, it never occurred to me. I'm not really good at that. Well, I can show you how to do it. And they're like, is that what you do? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah. And it's exactly what you guys do. And it doesn't matter whether you make $10 or you make $10,000 a month. It's what you do. And it's the confidence that you put out there and say, you know what? Heck yes, that's what I do. And I can show you how to do it. So let's get going. Let's meet up on Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Does that work for you? You don't leave it hanging. Close the deal right there and say, yeah, let's do it. Let's meet. But you got to be bold enough to do that. So you got to take being timid and put that in your pocket too. You got to bring the boldness out and say, let's do this. And if you don't know how to do it or you're not sure, then call Jana, call me, call your upline and say, look, I've got this person. I'm going to meet with them. I don't know what to do. What do I do? What do I say? And there's people who will help you do that. It's very simple. And so I'm not going to say very simple, but we can give you steps on how to do it. So, yeah.
Okay. That was a good answer. The next question is, what do you do when your sponsor is not working the business, but you are?
I wouldn't know how to answer that.
So, you know, the main thing with that is, especially on this team, that is really no excuse.
Right.
We have so many leaders on this team. We provide so many resources. We provide videos and team calls and events and, I mean, you name it. If the big groups that you're in, you know, you can ask questions 24/7 and pretty much get an answer right away. I mean, you know, the very best kind of network marketer is someone that doesn't need an upline. Somebody that says, I will do this with or without my sponsor. Your sponsor, you know, if you are the sponsor, you do have a responsibility to the people that you sign up. You really need to be there for them. As soon as you become a sponsor, you are a leader. And you are that person's leader, and you're responsible for them. If you're an ambassador, your sponsor has no responsibility to you. You know, I mean, it sounds like it's, you know, an oxymoron, but really that's the way you have to look at it. You have to just forget about your sponsor and do your own thing if your sponsor's not there for you. So, you know, that's something that you just have to get past. If you're a sponsor, you know, do everything you can to help your ambassadors. But if you're an ambassador that doesn't have a working sponsor, then you don't need one. You really don't need one. You can do this business on your own, especially with a supportive team like we have, because you have all the resources you need right within your fingertips. One of the other questions that was on the thing was how to flip customers. So that's a really good one. And that kind of goes into Mary Ann's question about how, you know, how do you look for people, you know, how do you know if your customer is somebody that would be a good ambassador? You know, I think really just having that relationship with them, like Shannon said, to have a relationship with your customers. And, you know, you can usually tell if somebody, you know, needs the money. Do they need help paying for their products? Talk to them, you know, tell them what you're doing. Like we said earlier, if you have a relationship with them, you know, you can easily go and say, you know, that, you know, you're paying me every month and I'm getting paid on your orders. You could actually share these products and get paid on on people that buy from your website. And so just to me, I think flipping customers is one of the easiest things because they're already liking the products. Once they already like the products, it's really easy for me to share my passion about this business because I know that this business provides freedom. I've seen it happen too many times. I've seen, you know, a silver ambassador that earns enough money to help pay for her kids' Christmas. Like, I know what this business does, and it's really easy for me to have passion enough to tell a customer, hey girl, you already love these products. Why not share them? Don't you want everybody to feel as good as you feel, all the people that you love? So for me, flipping a customer is something that is pretty simple, because you just share what you love about the business. And if they see your passion and what you're doing, and you talk to them about our team and, get them on an opportunity call, it's really hard for people to say no when they see your passion.
Mm-hmm. And you do have to resign yourself that there are going to be people who are customers who will never sell, who will never flip to being an ambassador. And you have to be okay with that. You just have to say, you know what? They're going to be a customer, and I'll just keep making commission from them. I have a gal that has been my customer since the second month that I started in 2013. So almost 4 years now, she's been taking products, but she refuses. And you know what? I'm okay with that. And that's okay, because that's where her comfortability is, and that's where she's at, and that's okay. I'm still making money off commissions from her. So, there's some people that you just have to say, okay, they're going to be a customer, and then you just take care of that customer. She hasn't stayed for 4 years because I didn't take care of her. So, you got to take care of your customers if you want to keep them for a long time. And that goes to coaching them well, and not just making money off them, but building relationships with them, connections, and checking on them, and being there for them, and hearing their fears and doubts, and then coaching through that. So important.
And then, also, if you do have customers like that, don't be afraid to ask them for referrals, because if they're liking the products enough to stay on them for 4 years, then chances are they may be able to connect you with some people that will want to buy the products too. So always ask those customers for referrals. Shannon, somebody asked, how do you make posts that grab people's attention?
I love to do posts that will grab people's attention. And sometimes I have to sit think about it really, or who am I trying to reach with my post in particular? Like if I see somebody posting about something and then I want to talk about it, and I'm like, okay, so I need to do a post about whatever. I think it's important to do posts and not copy and paste. Yes, we're all about duplicating, and it's important to duplicate when you see something, but you're able to duplicate without copying and pasting the exact same thing. Because when you do that, and then you have other people in your community who have the same friends as maybe somebody else that's a Plexus ambassador, and you posted something, then they posted it, the exact same wording, then that's when it looks salesy. That's when it looks pushy. And that's when people turn it off and they're like, you know what, I don't want any part of that. So you have to look at something and say, okay, that's a great post. Now, if it were me writing it or talking about it, how would I change it up? How would I do it? Now, I know if I see a post personally, I will change it up. I will add emojis to it. I will add funny stuff to it. I'll make up my own picture for it, or I'll find a picture for it. Or, and you can't be afraid to be transparent. Let me tell you that. I get the biggest likes and comments from posts from just being transparent. And then there's things that people are like, well, you can't talk about that. I did a post the other day about Chex Mix. And I don't know if anybody was involved in that post about Chex Mix. I think it was like 80 or 90 comments on a post about Chex Mix. Chex Mix, people, Chex Mix. Because I said I didn't like the little round, brown, crunchy things, the bread in the Chex Mix. And there were 80 people commented about Chex Mix. But here's the thing is that there were all kinds of people from high school, college, work friends that never comment or like on anything else, but they liked and commented about Chex Mix. But that means that they liked one of my posts. And that means they will start popping back up. My stuff will pop up in their feed. They're going to see it more often because Facebook said, oh, they commented on her post, so they're friends. So we're going to start popping her stuff up into her feed. And then, for instance, the other day I did a post on my high school softball jersey. I found it when I was cleaning stuff out, and I went and I put it on. And Diana is on the call. Diana, you can attest that that was my actual softball jersey that I wore in 11th grade. Diana and I went to high school together. Her sister was in my wedding. So she knows I was not lying. I wasn't fudging about that. That was really my ugly high school softball jersey. But my whole point of that post was to bring in comments and likes from people that I did athletics with in high school. So people I played softball with, people I played basketball with, and I got people that had never commented on my stuff that I was friends with, that played on those sports teams with me, that commented and liked that stuff because it was a common ground. And so you have to think about things like that that will bring in attention. And then when you're doing Plexus posts, those are going to pop up in their feed, and they're like, hey, you know what? Shannon hasn't changed a bit. She's still just as goofy and ding-dongy as she was in high school. And Diana can tell you, I'm just as goofy and ding-dongy as I was in high school. So use that to your advantage. Don't be afraid to be transparent, and make crazy pictures of yourself sitting in the car pickup line like this because you're about to pee yourself because you didn't go to the bathroom before you went and got in the car pickup line. That's what I do. I think it's funny. That's how I do posts that get attention. Are you there, Jana? You're muted, dear.
Sorry, the chat screen was blocking your face and you kept moving around again.
Oh.
I was like, where'd she go? Yeah, I think personalizing your post is the best thing to do, bringing value to people, not just with Plexus, but with other things. When your whole life looks like you're branded to be healthy, that's really important because we are, we're sharing health and wellness products. So we don't want Big Macs and plates of brownies and, constantly posting recipes for Boston cream pie, we are, health and wellness. And that's what people need to see us as, because when they're ready to get healthy, they're not going to come to the girl that has all of the junk food all over her page. They're going to come to the girl or the guy that is healthy and making that a priority in their life. So,
and we're not saying that you can't enjoy those foods, because Shannon loves a good Big Mac. I'm telling you, there are times that I like a good Big Mac, and I will go eat a Big Mac, but I don't eat Big Macs all the time. I mean, that's something like once a year that I'm like, ooh, I think I want a Big Mac. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not a lifestyle that you keep up all the time. But if you're posting about it, people assume that that's your lifestyle, that that's what you do. So, my mom and dad, in the Bible says to not let your good be evil spoken of. So, you may have good intentions about something you're putting on there, but somebody else is going to turn around and go, oh, did you see what that Plexus girl put on her post? She was eating a peppermint patty the other day while she was sitting in the car pickup line. So, and so you just got to be cognizant of what food posts, especially,
Yeah. And I mean, but like Shannon was saying, the interactive posts are so good. If you can think about things that other people think all the time, it could be the most simplest thing like Chex Mix. But when you think of things like that everybody feels like very strongly about one certain thing like that, can get people interacting. And I think that humor is a big thing. I get probably the most likes and comments from non-Plexus people as well as Plexus people if I post funny things. So, and trust me, it doesn't take much to make people laugh. It doesn't.
Right.
I mean, me and Shannon, we don't even try to be funny. And I mean, I love Shannon all the time. She's really funny. But I mean, the humor part, if you find a funny meme, or if your kid says something funny, post that, because people love humor. People are desperate to laugh. What?
How about
Rob's got a question. Hold up.
How about posting about things
Oh,
I you said I should post a picture of that.
Yeah, definitely. You know, when you're posting something that Plexus helped you buy, that's a really good one. Rod just bought a workout machine for his office that, and he bought it with his Plexus money. And so I told him, you know, post a picture of your nice workout machine and say that Plexus, you know, we can't post like our dream house, you know, you don't want to post anything that like is not realistic for somebody just coming on, but it would be realistic for somebody just coming on to, you know, post a picture of their refrigerator with organic food in it and say, you know what, before Plexus, I couldn't buy all this organic, you know, healthy food, or whatever it is that you're buying, a washing machine or whatever it is that you're buying with your Plexus money. People really relate to stuff that you're buying that you wouldn't necessarily be able to buy before your Plexus money. And that will mean more to somebody than a dream house, because people are really desperate for extra money. People are desperate for a new refrigerator. They're desperate for things that $300 or $500 would buy if they had that extra. And so a lot of people, I don't think, realize that we're actually making money. They think that, you know, we're just making products. It's what I thought when I joined Plexus. I thought that all network marketing companies were just products. You know, I thought it was candles and jewelry and makeup, and you just got products. So when I was shocked when I got my first check, and it was actually real money. And so I think a lot of people don't understand that, but if they see a picture of something that you actually bought with your Plexus money, it really, you know, it's a light bulb moment for them.
and you know, it really is about the heart of it. I'm going to share a story with you. There was a young girl on my team, a young mom, a single mom. She had 3 kids, and this year during the book fair was going on, and she sent me a text, and she said, "Hey, I just wanted you to know that this year was the first year that I've ever been able to send book money to with my kids so that they could buy something at the book fair this year." And, you know, and that may not seem like a lot to you, or it may not seem like to the person next to you. See, I'm going to try not to cry, because to me, when a mom with 3 kids comes and says, I was able to send $5 with my kid to buy books at the book fair this year, that's something, you know, because moms live paycheck to paycheck. And when you can give them, and that's the kind of stuff that's got to drive you to help people. Because when you get a message like that and someone says, I made a difference in my kid's life. Because when you've gone 4 or 5 years and your kid's coming to you saying, Mom, can I have money for the book fair? And how much that breaks your heart to have to say no to that kid because you got to buy milk for that kid, or you got to buy bread to put sandwiches in that kid's lunch. But and it breaks your heart to have to say no to our kids. We all know that. To have to say no to our kids for anything breaks our heart because we don't have the money. And you know what? I don't want anybody on my team to ever be in that position. So whatever I can do to make you better at being a Plexus ambassador, I'm going to do it, because getting messages like, I was able to spend $5 to give my kid $5 to buy books at the book fair. That should move you to say, oh my gosh, that's not a lot, but man, it is to that kid that went and bought books, or that little knickknack and got something at the book fair. That was huge. That was huge. That kid's going to remember it forever. That mom is going to remember that forever, that feeling, that connection, and what that Plexus income brought. So use those things to your benefit. And I mean, those are huge things that should move you to do great things for the people on your team.
Well, and I mean, and how many people are you, you know, keeping that from by not sharing our opportunity with, you know? I mean, even if $10 or $20 or $30 a month for somebody would mean something like that, you know, how many people are you not sharing this with because you're afraid of rejection? because
Right.
they might say no, or they might think you're dumb or whatever. You know, you're keeping that from them. And really, if anything else, to share this for somebody else's benefit, not yours. And I guarantee you, if you have that in your mind, if that is your motive for reaching out to people, they're going to feel that. If you're
Yes.
about them and you're thinking about what this can do for them, whether it's health or finances,
Mhm.
they're going to be a lot more responsive. And that just answered Myra's question about not being too pushy when you're reaching out to customers. You know, if you're genuinely concerned about that person and that comes across in your message, you know, hey girl, I haven't heard from you. I know you bought the products 3 weeks ago. And I really want to know how you're doing. You know, it's okay if you don't want to respond. I'm not going to bug you all the time, but I really want to know how you're doing. If you're really concerned about them, they're going to feel that. And that's all you can do. That's all you can do is to care about somebody. You can't force them to respond. You can't, there's nothing you can do any differently. It's them. It's them that's not responding. So you just do your best caring about people, and then the rest is up to them.
Mhm. Absolutely.
So do we have, okay, now everybody's crying, Shannon.
I told you to put your feelings in your pocket.
And then you told a story that everybody cries over.
That's funny.
Okay. And by the way, I have gotten plenty of text messages and private messages from people that I don't even know with stories like that. And those, just like Shannon said, those are stories that you never forget. They're things that you just never forget. And it makes you just know, this is why I'm here. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing, because it's touching people that I've never even met before. You know, and I have people ask me all the time, how do you have such a large team? How do you have that many people? I'm like, well, that's what network marketing is. You share it with people that you know, they share it with people they know, and before long, because you said yes, you're touching somebody that you've never even met before, and you're helping them do something for their family. And so you might not ever even meet or know about the things that you've done, or, you know, things that other people have done through Plexus, but you know that people are being blessed all over the place when you're sharing this with them.
And you know, I want you to think about, a lot of times we live right here in the present, and we only think about what's going on right now, and you know, well, how is this affecting my business right now, and what's going to happen? And there's always days where maybe you don't feel like working, or you don't feel like doing a DMO, or you don't feel like messaging your customers. I want you to think about it in terms of, right, you're working for the unknown. You're working for what's coming a year from now. You're working for what may come 2 years from now. I know for me, if you've been in this business more than a year, you know that a year and he broke his leg, he dislocated his shoulder, he knocked out 2 front teeth, he was in the holidays. So with all that being said, that was a lot of hospital bills, a lot of hospital bills. And I did a lot of not working in June and July and August, because, and Janet will tell you, I just couldn't, because I was helping him learn to walk again. I just couldn't do work. But I did work because I knew I had to, because, you know, we want to keep getting paid. But it was for such a time as that, why I worked so hard the 3 years prior to that. I didn't know that that was coming. I sure didn't know it was coming. But I'll tell you what, God provided the income in order to pay for all that surgery, all that hospital stay, all that physical therapy appointments. We are not in debt a single penny for any of that. It was well over $50,000 in bills. We don't owe a single penny for that. It's all paid for. And that is, thank God above for blessing Plexus and blessing my business and preparing me. But it's not just about God blessing that. You have to be a good steward of what's given to you. If you're not a good steward of what you already have, then God's not going to bless you with more. So you have to be a good steward of what you already have, taking care of the ambassadors that you already have, taking care of the customers you already have. If you're not doing that, then you're not going to get more. Why would God give you more if you're not taking care of what's already been given to you? So just, I don't know why that came out, but somebody needed it apparently.
Yeah, and I will say that during that time, Shannon, when you were going through all that, you did work your business, but what it did was it allowed you the freedom to work around when you needed to work.
Yes.
And,
yes.
You were already a jewel at that point, and so
Right.
you had a big responsibility. And we've had this conversation before. When you have a responsibility to your team, you don't just stop working because somebody gets sick or something happens.
Right.
You're still responsible for that, and you have to have the work ethic to keep. If you had a regular job, I mean, a lot of you do have regular jobs. At your regular job, if somebody gets sick, you might be able to take off a day or two, but you still have to go back. Otherwise, you're not going to have a job. So you have to treat your Plexus business with that same respect as you have for your job. It has to be your priority. Even if you're just doing it part-time, if it's not a priority to take care of your people and your business, it's not going to stay. You're going to lose what you have if you don't keep that as a priority. Now, the great thing about what we do is that it provides the freedom that Shannon could work from the physical therapy office, or if she had a whole busy day of medical appointments, she could work in the evening time. She could reschedule her calls and different things around her life, which she wouldn't be able to do if she had an 8-to-5 job. So that was the great thing about it. But the fact that she still made it a priority to work her business during that time was crucial, because even if you're going through something like that, you still have to make your business your priority, because that is your job, that is your income, and you need to be there for your team, and you need to keep working your business regardless of what's going on around you.
And I had every good excuse to say, no, I don't want to work. I could have very easily said, I don't want to work. I'm too tired. I'm too stressed. And you know what, Jana and all of my friends, they wouldn't have said a word to me because they knew where I was. They knew how I was feeling, but they also knew me as a person and knew that I'm not the kind of person that's going to just sit back and let it all go. But thank God, like Jana said, I could work from doctor's offices. I could work from my home at 1:00 in the morning when we're sitting up because he's in so much pain and we can't sleep. I can sit there and I can work. What else am I going to do? Sit there and wallow in it? Yeah, I guess I could do that, but that's going to get you nothing and get you nowhere. So don't be sitting and wallowing. Just get up out of it and start working. Put your hand to something. It'll be blessed. But you got to put your hand to it first.
That's the difference between somebody who makes it to Jewel and somebody who doesn't. I can't tell you how many times that somebody would tell me, oh, my cousin's wife's ex-boyfriend is having surgery and I won't be available for the next 2 weeks. And I'm just like, what? I mean, aren't you going to be sitting in the hospital anyway? You could be contacting people, I mean, I am, somebody who has a very strong work ethic, and I don't see any reason why you can't work your business from the hospital room. I've done it plenty of times during things that have happened with my family. And so, I mean, it's how bad do you want it? How bad do you want your business to succeed? And I have this, I'm going to put it in the Rockin' group later, but I have this thing that I found earlier, and it's so true. And it's, you can't have $1 million dream with a minimum wage work ethic.
Right.
And, that's just the truth. It's just the truth. Your work ethic and what you put forth on this is what's going to happen. It's what's going to become of it. Mm-hmm. And so if you're working it like a hobby, only expect to have hobby income. But if you're working it as a business and you're putting, priorities where they need to be, then you can be successful with it.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Well, I don't know about anybody else, but I've had a good time on this call.
Yeah.
I'll get something out of it.
Well, it is 9 o'clock, and so we are going to go ahead and sign off. It was so cool to be able to see all of your faces, or some of your faces. Sometimes, some of them I can just see your names. But either way, it was really fun to be able to see everybody. And we would love for you guys to put your takeaway in the Rockin' Group and let us know, what you thought about the call and what you learned and what you discovered about yourself even. A lot of times you have those moments during a call where you think, you know what, that's it. That's what's holding me back. And those are the kind of things we want you to have on these calls. We want you to be able to say, that's it for me. Like Shannon did at convention that year. I'm drawing my line in the sand, and and this is it for me. Whatever she learned at that convention was what did it for her. So you never know when that time's going to come for you. It might be during a call, it might be at convention, it might be, at a Plexus event or at somebody's house. It could be at a sip and see. You never know where that's going to be, where your line's going to get drawn. So we want to hear that. We want to hear what you guys are feeling, and then everybody else in the group needs to hear too, because we had 50-something people on the call. We need way more than that on these calls. We need to attract more people to these calls. And sometimes, you can't help it, but a lot of times people are just out there watching Survivor or something. They need to be on these calls. So
what's wrong with Survivor?
During the call, everything's wrong with Survivor.
I record it, but I won't.
So the more excited you guys are about the calls, and the more that you comment, that you love them, whatever it is you took away from them, it's going to make more people want to get on the calls the next time. So
and don't forget to be Aunt Sue. Everybody be Aunt Sue, okay?
You can't be you, be Aunt Sue.
That's right.
Well, we will see you guys next time, and we thank you all for being on the call. Thank you, Shannon, for being on the call, and I'll talk to you guys soon.